Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes. It is Friday, and like we do every single Friday, it's time to reflect on the week and reflect on our businesses, reflect on the most amazing listeners that actually tune in. It boggles my mind that people tune in, but we appreciate it. And share some stories from the week. Justin, I'm just going to kick it off to you right away. Yeah.
So had a great one actually yesterday. Had an individual was pre-qualified through another lender. Said on the pre-qualification the down payment was verified. They were planning on using 401k for funds to buy a new house, a second home here in Arizona. They reside in Colorado, and sent it over to me, and we started looking at a second mortgage. And guy only owed $99,000 on his current home in Colorado, worth $750,000.
Wow.
Thought he was going to have to let the house go because he didn't have the cash reserves, and ended up pricing out a second mortgage for his current home for down payment. And he's like, "That's all the payment is?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Is this a fixed rate?" I said, "Yeah." He said,
"Do it.
Let's pay off my other my cars too." Wrap those cars in that baby.
Yeah.
He ended up saving money, taking out $100,000 to purchase a home here, and he wrapped 2 auto loans into it. Now, keep in mind, I know it's a 30-year loan, but his plan is to pay extra. He makes plenty of money. But the cool thing is he didn't have to go through the battling the 401k thing, and ended up getting the first mortgage as well. But I thought that was cool because the other lender, I guess, ended up calling him back, and didn't have the options for second mortgages. He just stuck with me. I was like, it was a great story for me. I really enjoy it. Yeah, it's a big win for me. So
What's the likely outcome? Have someone like that calls a big box bank that's open 9 to 5 and or one of these, www.getmemoney.com, lender outfits? Because we talk so much about working with someone like your team with not only experience but creativity and knowledge of loan programs.
I mean, I would say the likely outcome is, hey, we don't have anything for you, but you're dealing with human beings, so you may get a unicorn inside one of those big box banks. Now, I don't think they'll have the ability to simultaneously close those loans within the 21-day period that I have to close this. More than likely, there's not very many people that are going to have the products and the capacity to deal with a closing that quick. But you could find somebody. It might have to be delayed. I've just been, blessed to have the volume that I've got to deal with, and I did work at a big box bank, and I did think out of the box when I was there. But I learned from everybody. I learned from you guys. I learned from everybody that I work with, all the customers that I talk with. The questions that people ask me make me think a little bit more outside the box. And I'll tell you, there's sometimes where I'm not, there's something that should come right to the tip of my tongue, and I should be able to shout it off. And sometimes I don't have that, but
Ryan and we ask you questions.
Yeah,
and
you
you're
guys
like,
do.
"Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got to look into that."
But majority of the time I dwell on questions. So I tend to think about ways to get around it.
Do you drive around and repeat conversations?
Absolutely, in my head.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
My wife looks over at me. She's like, "Who are you talking to?" And I was like, "I'm talking to a lot of people right now." Just
I typically drive with the radio off. And so I can sit and think. I do that quite a bit. Or I'm on the phone,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I'm just blessed to be able to have done as much volume as I have. So that really helps me with the creativity and understanding all the products that are available. Because we have a ton of products. I guarantee a lot of loan officers that are at Fairway don't even understand the products that we have because they don't have the volume to get to mess with those products.
So sometimes I hear from people that I haven't had the opportunity to get into an in-depth conversation about their finances and loan programs, and they say because you're with Fairway Independent Mortgage, I'd rather go to a broker and have the flexibility to choose. And I'm like, but you don't understand that just underneath the the umbrella of Fairway, there's a gazillion different programs that will beat out the other programs that a broker might bring to the table, and you are just a master of knowing what they are.
Yeah,
and navigating underwriting.
100%. And I can pick and choose a little bit there.
Yeah.
But what I think a lot of people don't understand is I'm kind of a hybrid lender. I have the ability to broker. It's whether I choose to do it or not. And most of the time I choose not to broker because I choose the service side over the brokering side. Or I have a broker product that we delegate, meaning we underwrite. Why wouldn't I use my underwriters that I get to have conversations with every day? And I can control the process. If I'm brokering something, it's complete hands off, basically. I have to rely on them to do their jobs. I can't tell them to do their
you
jobs.
jump from driver's seat over to shotgun. And it's
you're in the trunk. Wow. And it's locked. They open the back seat to tell you something every once in a while.
Ryan, what about you?
Man, it's been even the past couple of weeks have just been they've been awesome. I mean, we've had a great time with all the stuff around Halloween and there's been a lot of folks that have been investing in real estate that we've had some great conversations with and some great contracts and I mean lots of really good business that's been going down. But the thing that takes the cake for me this week is most of you already know, but if you don't, we have a very large team here, and when we hire, we hire slow. We bring on one, maybe two people at a time, and so we brought on a new guy about a month and a half ago, and did a ton of training with him, and he's in his own right. He's already a savvy dude. He already invests in real estate. He comes from a background that lends itself well to what we do. So, went through all of the building blocks of what we do and how we train and how we service, how we communicate, etc. And so it's kind of like, all right, buddy, it's go time. Let's start getting in front of people, right? And I got a phone call. I forget where I got the phone. Anyway, I got a phone call from some of these folks to say I need some help, and I said, all right, well, this is perfect opportunity. So our new hire, his name is Patrick, awesome dude.
Yep.
I was thinking about him, and I was like, all right, these are the folks that he needs to be talking to. So last night we all met up over in the conference room and had these folks. They're first time home buyers. They have their daughter is 6 months old, just cute as a button, and so we're all just hanging out in there talking and going over everything, and so I had him take the reins on this one, and dude, he knows our systems and our strategies almost as better than we do.
That's great.
He walked through this conversation, and of course, these folks were like, "We're just trying to, buy a home and then sell it, and then maybe buy another one, and try to just do these lateral movements." And we're like, "Okay, no, let's think about all the options." I mean, he just went over everything. I mean,
That's fantastic.
So it was cool watching him dance. You know what I mean? And it was a chip off the old block because there's a lot of the stuff that we've just been passionately teaching and training and doing everything for
and the same
years
stuff
and years
that
and years.
we talk about on the podcast week after week, teaching and training our listeners.
Yeah, and he was doing it, and I was like, you might catch him on our pod. He might take this seat whenever one of us go out of town. You know what I mean? Like he's a smart dude, and anybody would be privileged to work with him. He's that good, and so it was a very, very proud moment. Because it was just like, okay, this stuff is resonating and it's starting to stick and
That's great.
And it was just, and it's not only going to change those folks' life, it's going to change Patrick's life too. So Patrick, if you're watching this, buddy, well done, dude.
Good job. Good job.
Well, we would, if you're listening and just want to talk real estate, you've got a situation or an objective that you need to really sit down and have a conversation with a real estate wealth manager about. We want to encourage you to text the word story to 623-AZ-RECON. That's story to 623-AZ-RECON. Because I want to point out, people who text in the show, you don't have to text in the show and feel like, oh, you got to go buy something, or you got to go sell something. We freaking love talking this stuff.
It's a relationships thing, man.
And we love talking real estate. We love talking about wealth building, and we love talking strategies. Again, text the word story to 623-AZ-RECON. All right, so we've got this, man, he's just, I'm at that age where I can call someone who's 23 a kid.
You can, for sure.
You absolutely can.
He's just this young kid. He is an airman at Luke Air Force Base, and never has even considered buying a home. Never even thought it would be possible. I've talked to pilots, like F-35, F-16 pilots, going, that kid's got his act together if he's saved up enough jack and buying a home, you know. And so we did the new agent orientation, where you buy a house from a builder about a week out. You go and you tour the house. They show you how everything works, and it's your chance to walk around and say, hey, here's some scuffs on the paint, you know, touch this up, fix this, you know, because the builder, and you want to do that prior to the close of escrow, because the builder wants their money. And so they're more amicable to get stuff done in that week leading up to the close of escrow. But one of the things that we do on our team is we encourage people who are buying new builds prior to that new home orientation is hire Anthony from HCP, get a professional home inspection done, because there are things that we are not going to see. We're not going to be able to, like the, the tray underneath the air handler was just all kinds of crap on there. None of us are climbing up in the attic, right?
No.
And looking at that stuff. And so we got the inspection report, and the inspection report really just caught a lot of stuff that we would have likely missed. And then we walked it and identified some things, and I was pointing out some things. And by the end, Cub is his name. By the end, dude, he was a professional at this. Yeah, give me some tape. He got this down. But at the end, he's like, dude, he goes, I wouldn't have known what I was doing. I wouldn't have caught any of this stuff. And I'm like, this is what happens a lot of times when people buy new builds without not only representation, but expert representation who knows what they're doing, because this is your chance to get the like there was like a little nick on the handle to the stove. It was a stainless steel stove, and I'm amazed on how the builders, these guys, how they just walk by stuff and just don't even see it,
Dude, I had this conversation earlier today. I already know what you're talking about.
And so we're making sure that we're getting that fixed, because if he moves in and then 2 weeks later he notices it, the builder's going to be like, you did that,
Yep.
So that's my story.
That's a good one.
Good.
All righty. Well, it is Friday, so it is my turn. The weather has turned into awesome in the Phoenix metropolitan area. We are just enjoying the outdoors. And so if somebody texts the word story into 623-AZ-RECON, and we were going to take somebody out somewhere for either happy hour, appetizers, cocktails, but it was outdoor seating only, or you were going to sit outside, where is the best outdoor seating place for you if you're going to enjoy a libration or three?
Okay. So I know that everyone's going to say, oh, well, the Phoenician's better, the Camelback Inn's better, American Ambassador Rooftop. I mean, I understand that there are some very, very nice, lavish spots. That's not really my vibe. I don't get me wrong. I love going there. It's fun,
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people just go there to look at each other. It's not really an intimate situation, or it's not like a situation where I can feel comfortable like having a conversation with. There's just too much distractions, right? So for me, and being that it's a small family-owned place and close to my house, I like this little place called Timo. It's over off of Central and basically like Butler.
Oh, another place you haven't taken us to. Thank you,
That's
pal.
true. Yeah. And it's
He
primarily
knows them all. I just can't believe how much.
Dude, I wish he
remember this
didn't
stuff.
ship his 12-passenger van up to Homer, Alaska. Like he
Should
could
leave
make
it at
money.
the
We could
office.
have everybody text van to 623 AZ Recon, fly out here, and Ryan's just going to drive you around to all of the most incredible hole-in-the-wall spots in the valley.
So they have this great brick oven where they do tapas, pizzas, all kinds of things out of it. They have a fantastic wine list. It's not so pretentious where you need to go in there and drop $1,000 for the four of you to have a good time. Like it's really one of those places. And everybody that works there, I mean, most of them are from here. You know them. They don't have turnover, so you just know who you're dealing with every single time you get in there. Owner's going to come out and make sure you guys are doing good. They have multiple fire pits and whatnot, and it's tight and it's cozy and it's got great lighting, and it's just one of those spots. So that's what made it for me. And that's why.
All right, and Justin's going to go with castles and coasters. Having a soda.
Pretty
and a
damn
hot
close to castles and coasters. But for the life of me, I can't think of the name right now. And of course, I was just trying to Google it. But you're gonna know. You can get it's like Louisiana style. It's right there.
Papados.
What?
Papados,
Papados.
yeah.
I love that outside little ambiance
that's
there.
cool.
Plus the food, it kind of gives you a different style, like you're in a different state. Especially right now with the weather the way it is. I love that place. I love the food.
Yep.
All right, mine is Reds at the Wigwam Resort.
Oh.
I've when I lived out there in Goodyear for many, many years ago, Reds was about it. That was about the only place that we could go. The food, the appetizers at Reds is really good. The drinks are amazing. The service is amazing. But the chairs are incredibly comfortable. And sitting out
That's
there
important.
and overlooking the putting green and looking at and because they got three 18-hole golf courses there, and it's old school in the sense that it's grass. It's not desert golf, so it's all the grass, the tall pine trees. It is one of my favorite places just to go hang out and
I like it.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Those are good ones.
All right, folks, appreciate you joining us today. We would love to engage with you, answer any questions that you have. If you just want to have a real estate conversation, go ahead and text the word story to 623 AZ Recon. That's story to 623 AZ Recon.